name is Julia Borelli. I'm a mixing and master engineer, and I work with Kevin DeVries, Mina Gans, and Richie Houghton. I started playing guitar when I was 7, and then after 2 years, I started playing piano, and then 2 years later, drums. And then I had a stupid idea to do every 2 years I would learn a new instrument. So then I started learning a little bit of many instruments, but not being super proficient in any of them. Maybe guitar is the one that it's the one that I'm more connected to. But then I was playing in a band on my teenage years, and of course, as everyone, at some point we had to record our first EP, and no one in the band wanted to get into the nerdy side of engineering. So I started learning a bit and reading a lot and trying stuff out, and then that's how I got into the engineering side of things. And then I moved to London to do a diploma in music production. Then after that, I went back to Brazil, started working in a mastering studio. And I would say that's where I really learned the skills that I use today. After that, I moved to Germany to go to SAE to study audio engineering. For me, working in that mastering studio in Brazil is where I learned, as I said, where I learned the things that I actually use every day now in my work. And my mentor there, André Dias, was very important for my career. For me, actually, the one lesson that I had in my whole career that changed everything for me was, I feel like with mixing and mastering and the whole engineering thing, a lot of people think that it's all about the gear and having the top. I strongly believe that it's not about the gear, but the ears. And on my first day working for André, I was just sitting behind him and he was working, right? And he mastered a song, and then he said, "Oh, you sit here now and you tell me what I did." And then I just looked at the gear and I was like, I have no idea what he did. I don't know what any of the gear is because it was all super fancy. Now I know, but back in the days, it was still starting out. So, and then the only thing that I could answer was not, oh, this frequency or that frequency, but I could answer that I heard that the hi-hats opened up, the shakers moved a bit, and the vocals came to the front, and then I just told them what I heard. That's what I use every day in my life now when I'm working. It's not about the numbers or the gear, it's about the sound. As you can see here, I have a lot of gear in my studio, and now I only work in the box because, for a few simple reasons, the industry is too fast. Everyone always needs everything quick, and also my workflow now, I'm working a lot like switching between projects, and if I was using analog, it would be a hassle. I'm like memorizing what was like, or writing down what was the setting of everything. And the flexibility of working digitally is just a lot easier. So I'm working in a box. Usually when I'm producing, the artist already comes with an idea. So I would say how I usually start is talking to the artist and understanding their vision and checking for similar references and trying to understand what direction sound-wise we're going for. When I'm mixing, of course, I have a vision for the track, but in the end, personally, I believe that what matters is what the artist wants, because it's their baby. I'm just helping them shape it. So very often in this industry, everything is super fast-paced, and everyone needs things last minute. And so I think this is the trickiest part of working with big artists. But also, that's how I started working with most of the big names that I work now. So, for example, Richie Houghton, I was working. I was teaching at this school, teaching mixing, and then it was 10 p.m. because it was an evening class, And I just, in the middle, I was explaining what a compressor is, and then my phone was just beep, 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 beep. And I was just like on the corner of my eyes trying to read what was saying, and just said like, Richie Houghton, Prada, Master, tonight. And I was like, I think it's time for a smoke break, guys. Split EQ, for example, because I get to EQ the tone and the transient information separately, which is life-changing. Also, Soothe makes life a lot easier because you can remove resonances without having to go on the bloody, painful process of finding them. And I also really love Sugar. It's a multi-band enhancer that I just love the colors, and I use it a lot. I think a very important thing that a lot of people don't think when they're starting out is the people that you look up to, they were not born with all that talent like that. They worked really hard for it. So spend the hours and work hard for it, and you will get there. There are two things, like music is what I love. So on my free time, what I want to do is music. And it's always hard, this balance of like when I'm mixing and when I'm mastering, it's like I have a hyper focus. The world could be exploding around me and I wouldn't notice. Understanding that my brain needs breaks sometimes. It's like, even though I'm loving it, like there is a battery in the brain that at some point you need to take breaks to recharge. Having a routine also helps me a lot. Like I don't know, I wake up always at a certain time. I have my coffee, I get ready, I do my exercise, and I come to the studio. I work best between 10 and 3 p.m. So that's the time that I usually don't book meetings or anything, because it's when I'm focusing on doing the work. And then after 3 is the time that I can be productive if my body allows it. The music scene is quite strong in very different genres that I didn't expect when I first moved here. I thought it was techno and that was what Berlin was. But then when you come here, you have so many genres and so many different groups, and everyone's very connected, all having their own communities and a lot of people in those communities. So I think it's a very special thing in Berlin. I think we can't really stop AI from happening now. It's like trying to stop the Industrial Revolution, you know? It's already happening. And it will definitely change a lot of things on how we make music and how everything works. Sure, AI can create music by itself. What I think it will bring to the artists is that artists will be created that they're just AI, and that will happen. But it's a new tool that we can use, just like new plugins that allows us to do different things, and that with analog before wasn't possible. Now with AI, it's just one more tool that we can use for our creativity and to expand the possibilities. So I am scared, but I'm also excited about it. I strongly believe with VR and all these technologies coming up now with Vision Pro, for example, from Apple, sound will have to become more immersive. Also with Apple Music having Atmos, and soon hopefully Spotify. So I am currently upgrading my studio to Atmos as well. So because I believe that that's where it's going. A project that I'm very excited about that I'm doing now is I just created a Patreon, and which has been out for a month, and it's very exciting having a space. Everyone's just nerding about mixing and music and mastering. Because before I had a lot of people DMing me on Instagram asking me how to do this and how to do that, and I just decided to have a space that we can all nerd together and that I can share a bit of my experience and knowledge. Being a female in this industry has changed a bit on how it affects me. I felt that we have to prove ourselves while men are already taken as they are qualified very often, which made me work extra hard, which is good in the end. But also, like if I was in the studio when I was working in a mastering studio in Brazil, everyone thought I was from the label or working as a social media person or whatever, and not actually engineering the studio. But at the same time, I feel like once we started announcing that it was Julia Borelli that was doing the mixes, it showed that a lot of the people were not coming because of I'm a woman or not. So I feel like this shift from starting as a female in this industry to how it is now. Now it's more of a good thing and people now respect me. Although sometimes it still happens. But yeah, so it changed a lot throughout the years. First, music, like there's no right or wrong. All the big artists that you look up to, they were not born with all that talent. They worked really hard. So understanding that no one got to where they are by sitting and being born with all that talent. So working hard for it is a big thing. I'm a perfectionist, so I struggled with that a lot. Like you will not always get it right. Like it's okay as long as you learn from your mistakes and try to improve it. I think a big thing with confidence is feeling like you're not good enough. And a lot of it comes from making mistakes, but that's how you learn. In my craft, when I was younger, there weren't that many role models out there. And which is also why it took me so long to get into the whole engineering thing, because I ended up getting there, but I always thought that I had to be a white bearded man to be an engineer, which is not the case. And now I feel like we have more and more female engineers that can be role models and that are hopefully inspiring the young girls to show that they can do it as well. When I was a kid, I didn't know any, but now there's Sylvia Messi, which has awesome techniques of doing the craziest things. If you don't know her, you should check her out. I also really like Catherine Marks and Marcella Reika. We have more and more, which is a very good thing, and which makes me believe that we're getting there.